Sunday Village. I'm going to take those 4 questions, 4 speakers initially for now. Can we use this mic? Yes, thank you.
Treaty Jones, the NCA. SG spoke about your discipline acts which were outweighed. Did you at any point receive any kind of pushback or resistance from the decisions that would have been taken from today? And just maybe lastly, how optimistic are you of this PTT? You speak about recovering lost ground ahead of the local government elections. Are you confident in this PTT? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Power.
Good afternoon, Nkosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. My question is towards the, it's not the chairperson, co-convener of the Gauteng PTT. So Mr. Panyaza, of course, you were elected by the mandate of AMA branch delegates at the 2022 Gauteng Provincial elections. You served as Premier, now you're the co-convener of the Gauteng. Number one, does this feel like a demotion? Number two, will this affect your work in your position as State Premier of the Gauteng? And with the announcement of the conveners, will they not play a big brother role as we head towards the local government election? So will you have to approve everything to the co-conveners, or do you still have the autonomy and authority to make your own decisions?
Thank you very much. Newsroom.
Thank you very much. It's Zianda Ngobo from Newsroom Africa. I'd just like some clarity. How have you gone about, Mr. Mbalula, the selection of some of these veterans who've been brought in for reinforcement, and what is the confidence that you have in them and their level of connection to the branches, firstly, that they'll be overseeing, but also the connection to the communities that you hope to reconnect with? And question of clarity, how long are you giving yourselves to have these PTTs in place? Are you going to host conferences anytime soon, or are you going to see out the respective terms of the previous PECs, which are now provincial task teams? So when are conferences happening, just as a matter of clarity? Thanks.
Very much. Saliwell.
Thank you very much. My name is Mawan. I work for Saliwell. SG, as a starting point, there's this circulating WhatsApp message about a threat of legal action, which purportedly was sent to you. First of all, probably the question is to confirm with you, did you receive such a message? If you did, do you know the genesis or where it emanates from, the crafters of that message? And have you received anything else more formal than a WhatsApp message in the form of a letter, in a letterhead from a law firm talking about such a thing? And if you do confirm such and you got it from legitimate ANC members, what course of action would you take against such people who would interrupt this process that you are engaging in? And then maybe, I know probably it's a repetition of a question that was asked in KZN yesterday. What happens now to Mr. Thekiso as the provincial secretary, who was in a paying job every month, which gave him a form of income, now that he is just a member of the working, provincial working committee, but not in charge of, not on a full-time basis? What happens in that regard? And also, finally, is this committee going to start from scratch in preparing the regions, which were all due to go to conference this year? I understand, for instance, Johannesburg had actually even announced a date. Does that process start all from scratch totally, or do they continue with what has been done? And are the regions likely to sit this particular year in any event? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, SG. Should I proceed with other questions?
Yes.
Okay. With that, Semjanda, your hand is up. Okay. News 24.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mahlingi. I'm partly covered, but I do want to just ask Mr. Balula, how confident are you with the people that you're bringing in as reinforcements, given some of their age? Going into the local government elections, you're competing against parties that aren't scared to field 26-year-olds as deputy mayors, and you're bringing in people, with all due respect, that have a vast experience. But in terms of the energy that is needed to win what will be one of the most hotly contested elections. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did I see IOL? Oh, okay. Is there any other hand side? No. Okay, I now hand over to the SG.
Panyaza, you want to give Panyaza first?
Oh, yes, because
There was a
Thank you so much, Comrade Mahlengi. Truly appreciate that. Maybe let me first start by appreciating the president of the SG and the leadership of the NEC, and also welcome the team that have been assigned the task to work in really rebranding and reworking the African National Congress in our province, including the co-convener, Comrade Masol. Thank you so much for this. The question was not, I think the ANC will forever assign us tasks. And in assigning us tasks, I don't think the ANC will do so if you're not capable and able to execute those tasks. So we've been given a new task. To me, it's refreshing, exciting, but most importantly, it overstretches our capabilities so that we can be in a position to respond to all the issues our SG has just outlined. The SG has outlined what needs to happen. And in the period where we are in the African National Congress, if you are identified to be amongst those that have to execute this task, it's indeed heartwarming. And we want to take that way and want to commit ourselves that will work together as a collective to attend to all these particular issues. In terms of government, we've never had any problem. Wherever there is an opportunity to consult the ANC, we do so at any moment. And I don't think that's something that will change. Where there is an agent needs to consult or agent needs to get mandate or guidance from the ANC, it will happen as it used to happen. So there are no major drastic changes at that particular level. Even the statement that was issued by our SG after the NEC, this particular point was emphasized. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the media, for your questions. First, let me start where Panyaza ended. The ANC leadership have shown a vote of confidence in Panyaza's leadership in government. And that is why he's retained. Because anything other than that would have shown that we don't have confidence in his leadership in government or otherwise. Overwhelmingly, our leadership have endorsed Comrade Panyaza to work with a veteran of the ANC, Comrade Amos Masondo, who will be focusing on organizational issues, particularly his experience in terms of elections and organizing skills that is good. And we know that they will complement each other very well. And Comrade Panyaza himself must know that our leadership has never been in doubt of his capabilities as our premier in this province. And we want that it must sink and be very clear that he is doing a good job together with his team in government. And yesterday he delivered a very practical state of the province, and which we believe that with the work done, this province will even be better and better under his leadership. So I just wanted to make that point that we are confident to him, his capabilities, his energy, his foresight in terms of leading our people in this province. ENCA pushback or resistance, was there pushback? We would have met the pushback in our meetings. Besides the leakage of information from irresponsible leaders of the ANC. Our membership has been very disciplined, despite the fact that they've known, and some of them have got views which are probably not in favor of any reconfiguration of sorts, and what they've been reading in the media through leakage and all of that. We have not met any pushback from our membership. We did not cut corners. We went to them before and after. And even it is the first time we address the question of reconfiguration post the NEC. We did address this resolution post the NEC, and we explained to you that reconfiguration means a little bit of both reinforcement and disbandment. I explained that in a press conference. And then the president summarized our discussion after 2 days on this matter and made it very clear as to what needs to happen. The NEC adopted that decision. And then we went to implement, and we have concluded. Now, we have not met any pushback from our membership. We address all 5 regions in Gauteng, and obviously there will be temptation to address members of the ANC via the media. We felt, as a principled organization, decency and decorum dictate that we must talk to our structures about the decisions we have taken. Of course, we are guided by democratic centralism in this instance, but nonetheless, it is important, and we owe it to them, that they don't see the SG announcing a decision before he briefs them. And that's what we've done, both here and KwaZulu-Natal. How optimistic are we? We're very optimistic. We are optimistic in the sense that we have brought in skill, experience, and that is why it is characterized as continuity and change. There is a lot of learning that will go with this process. But we say, like we said yesterday, we will patiently, root and branch, build the African National Congress in Gauteng under the stewardship of these comrades. The movement have bestowed upon them faith and trust that in this difficult period, they will be in charge of the journey of the ANC comeback from the setback we have suffered in the past election. And that is why we have gone to the tried and tested in our movement. And so we are optimistic that they will deliver the goods, they will focus the organization on the right path, on what needs to be done. Newsroom, how have we selected veterans? We are the only party that have got veterans in this country. Yeah, we are the only party that have got veterans. The African National Congress, given its history, 113 years. Yeah, I'll exclude the Koko because that's where you get experience. Utiwa indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambi. And the thina ke, we've got an abundance. We are spoiled by that as our party. So we're not looking at them to run at the same pace as we do, but we're going to rely on them to succeed, to guide, to be the final word, to be a point of call. Every time you don't attend, you don't understand certain things, it's normal to ask. Even when you are confronted with difficulties at the personal level, organizational level, there are people you ask, how did you resolve this problem in this year and that year? And then we still have such people we can ask, and we can rely on them and their wisdom. So we will never leave our veterans behind in terms of the work that we do. They are a source of inspiration, but wisdom, integrity, and decorum. That's what it means. Asingombutho wamatyhaki. Uyabona abafana abancane nje phela. Sinamakhehla la. Uyabona. So sinamakhehla sinomama. Omagogo bethu bakhona. Xa sixakiwe izinto siyakubo. Sibabuze ukuthi hey sinabo nathi apha ku leadership national. Bakhona. Xa ubona hey lento engathi yandiphandla le. Ubuye pha ufike uqomqozo uhlale uphuza itiye. Uthi into enje ijikelwa phi? Bakucebisa amaxhela ukuthi iqhube ngolhlobo nolhlobo. And then that's what it is. So we've got a wealth of these comrades in our ranks, and we have tapped into them to guide us. The time frame, obviously, in terms of the constitution, is supposed to be 9 months. We expect these comrades to meet immediately by Monday, or probably they will meet not by Monday, by now, as we live here, and determine when are they going to have the start plan to implement the tasks we have given to them. We didn't say they must do everything under. We have given them not more than 5 tasks that they must define. Top of the list, which is internal, is audit of structures. We said we will patiently, root and branch, rebuild the African National Congress. That task must find expression in the work they will do. So you can't do that without structures and working with fly-by-night structures that don't exist. Yes, people are in a rush for conferences, but root and branch is a master in that hope. Yeah, he's a master disciplinarian. So that's why we went to bother him and then to come back. We've relied on our best of the best in the movement. So we know that task will be done and will be followed up. As our structures respond to the moment, that's how we are going to see, newsroom, that reinforcing this leadership has been a wise decision. So 9 months or so, we expect them to be done. Then we'll have a conference. It's fine. But the priority is the ANC, how it is perceived, and then what the ANC does for umphakathi, for the people here in Gauteng. Sunday World. No, I didn't get that mischievous message. I saw it circulating on platforms. It's possible people can litigate. We'll defend our decision. Anytime. 12 o'clock, anytime, we'll defend it. There are bases for defending it. I know there are people who talk about the size of the PC as the basis for the challenge and all of that. When you intervene, you bring extraordinary measures. That's what you do. In Northwest, when we constituted the PTT there, after disbandment, we had 54 comrades.
Myself and Brian were there.
Himself and Braambi were there. There were 54. When we constituted the PTT in Limpopo, there were 57. Free State, there were around 58. We've got a good number of young and old comrades whom we have deployed, assigned tasks, and we have made it very clear to everybody here. If anyone is going to come with negative energy into this PTT and this process, we will remove them. There's not going to be a wait for the next conference. You are gone. Because you don't want to be here. This thing of tweeting at night and all of that, it's gone from now. We must tweet at night, Panyaza, defending the movement. Me and Panyaza, we tweet a lot. Yeah. And he gets insulted by our opponents. I will defend Panyaza. And then that's what we need to do. We must defend the movement. People must not tweet to undermine structures and the leadership. We have told them, yeah. And I don't single names. I'm not singling out names. We want positive energy. We've got the space to do that. All of us, we are wanted by the ANC. Our revolution is facing existential crisis. The question of who leads the ANC in the future will come and will be settled. It's an easy thing. That's why we have said when that moment comes, at the present moment, we are facing a mountain. Right? A mountain which we must climb, Kilimanjaro, and ascend. So this question of who leads and all of that, even when we get there, we might get there, you will be shocked. There will be no problem. Because we have worked for the movement. From where we are, we must come back. We must recover the lost ground. We can't recover the lost ground when we think about who will lead us. There is leadership at the present moment. We have been led by the president, and then conferences will come and they will make their determination. We said when that time comes, the national leadership will open that space for engagement. So, negative energy will not be allowed. Those who want to take us to court and challenge our decisions to rebuild our party, it's fine. We know who sent them. And what defines this moment is the love for the African National Congress. Not friendship, love for the ANC. That's what defines this moment. All hands on deck. That's what is important. TK will remain full-time in terms of the ANC payroll because he was elected for 4 years, up to next year, July, because you planned for these things. So that will not be tempered with. Yeah, and he's dealing with monitoring and evaluation. It's very important task, policy. That's very important work. Is this committee going to start from scratch? No, it's not going to start from scratch. It's going to build on anything that is good that the PEC has done and abandon anything that is a failure out of the door and consolidate the work of the ANC going forward. So that's what is going to happen. All these PEC members are here, so nobody has been taken out. So memory and continuity, that is why we characterize it as continuity and change. And that's what is required. Siamtanda, how confident are we? I think I've answered that. You are an ageist. I-ANC iyo yodwa iparty enabantu abadala ngoba ine-history. Uyabona? ANC have got history. So all these small political parties don't have old people, except one who also came from us, but I'm not going to mention the name. So the ANC is the only party that has got history, and that history is reflected in this leadership. That before us, there were others, and they are still there. And then we are the party of ancestors. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If I can ask all of us to stay settled. Let's stay settled, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you very much, members of the media. I will, with the permission of the Secretary General, as presidents, request the coordinator for a quick 1-minute reflection. And then I will also ask both Brahambi of starting with Comrade Banyaza and then Comrade Brampi will close us out. Simply just a quick response to the injunction from the organization.
As the SG said, the PTT officials will meet to look at the tasks and when to start planning for those tasks. Because to comment as an individual opinion, it's not organizational. Because the question, what's your vision? It can't be a vision of an individual. So we'll have to meet and then say these are the tasks which have been outlined. And as the SG has been saying, he expects in the next week or so that there should be clarity so that by the next month, work must begin. And as he said, all the PEC members are part of the PTT and the other people who had it. So see all in the statement what the national leadership has decided. But from our side, we will only come back once we have a clear plan on the areas of work which have been given, including the issues in relation to conferences and so on. We'll look at what is here, is in place, and then make decisions. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Comrade Coordinator.
I spoke, maybe let's allow
No, thank you very much for the opportunity to say a word or two. I want to start off by saying that essentially an organization is there to help people address their problems and challenges. And we see it as an honor to be part of a team that's going to help address these complex issues. And we'll do everything possible to realize the goals and the programs that have been agreed to, and whatever positive ideas that have been put forward as we move into the future. So we see it as an honor and indeed a privilege to serve our people and to do the best we can to ensure that indeed our people enjoy a better quality of life overall.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Brambi. At this point, then, I will ask for the group photo for the team that's about to be newly minted. But just before that, for purposes of media management, it's also my pleasure to introduce the provincial spokesperson. Here I'm going to ask that you stand, even though you are known to media houses in the province, Comrade Mzi Kumalo, who is going to be speaking for the organization in this province of ours. Comrade Mzi is not new to organizational work, long-standing member of the organization, product of the Youth League, as well as somebody that has been deployed by the ANC, both in the executive branch of government as well as in the legislative branch of government. I think the only thing he's not been is to be a judge. He's not been a member of the judiciary. And we trust that Comrade Mzi, you will reposition how we communicate the message of the ANC in this province, as well as having healthy dealings with the members of the media who are our key stakeholder as we seek to continually speak for ourselves as the African National Congress. So thank you very much. We will hand over matters related to the province over to Comrade Mzi. We will walk this journey until they've had a strategic planning session, after which we then hand over. With that, we are now adjourned. May I request that members of the media also do get a sense of the collective through your visuals. Otherwise,